It's actually getting warmer today. It feels like it's regular weather without the freezing temperatures, although there's still a lot of ice and snow around the area. And with that in mind, what did I read today? I guess in some places it's not going very well. How about this? This was everywhere in terms of drone attacks. This one here says, a drone pierced the outer shell of Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear plant. Radiation levels are normal. As it says here, a drone armed with a warhead hit the protective outer shell of Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear plant early Friday, punching a hole in the structure and briefly starting a fire in an attack Kyiv blamed on Russia. The Kremlin denied it was responsible, with a lot of media and stuff showing this too in terms of videos and pictures. It says radiation levels at the shuttered plant in the Kyiv regions, site of the world's worst nuclear accident, have not increased, according to the UN International Atomic Energy Agency, which said the strike did not breach the plant's inner containment shell. The IAEA did not attribute blame, saying only that its team stationed at the site heard an explosion and was informed that a drone had struck the shell. Fighting around nuclear power plants has repeatedly raised fears of nuclear catastrophe during 3 years of war, particularly in a country where many vividly remember the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. There was no specific details from what I read anyways in regards to what type of drone they actually used. I know during these times there was always talk about things like Shahed drones and all that, but you can see again in terms of the video of the actual crash from what it appears, and as well all the aftermath of the destruction. I thought the war stuff was going to be ending soon, isn't it? That's what all the talk has been in terms of those negotiations. It sounds like people are just going ahead still. And of course in these situations people want to find out, okay, who's responsible? But how about this one? It says Moldova shuts down Russian cultural center following military drone incursions. Moldovan authorities announced on Thursday that overnight between Wednesday and Thursday, multiple drones crossed into Moldovan territory following a large-scale drone attack on Ukraine's Reni port, near the borders of Moldova and Romania, as reported by border police patrols. 2 of them crashed in southern Moldova, causing no casualties. And it says, quote, Moldova has not attacked anyone, we have not claimed any foreign territory, yet Russian drones and bombs are falling and exploding in our villages. President Maia Sandu wrote on Facebook, adding that Moldova lacks necessary capabilities to defend itself. Can you imagine that? Having all these, I guess, weaponized drones, that's what you want to say, flying over your area and there's not much you can do because you don't have the capability or resources to deal with them? It does say too, the foreign ministry summoned Russian ambassador Oleg Azarov and presented him with fragments of the drones that had fallen on Moldova, which bore the inscription Garan 2. The diplomat did not acknowledge that the drones belonged to Russia, claiming that the evidence was insufficient and called for further investigation. That's going to be a consistent theme though still, because of stuff like this, where when people see a drone, they're going to be afraid it's a weapon of some sort, huh? And in terms of drones, I guess flying around areas, how about this one, where apparently in the US, somebody was charged flying a drone around the area and it was a Canadian. It says here, Canadian charged with illegally flying drone over Patrick Space Force launch sites. As it says here, a Canadian man faces several charges after federal prosecutors say he used an unmanned drone to photograph sensitive military sites in Brevard, including Patrick Space Force Base, a submarine wharf, and a space launch complex at Cape Canaveral Space Force Base. Xiao Guang Pan, whose Instagram page describes him as photographer and licensed drone pilot, was charged earlier this week with 3 counts of using an unmanned aircraft to photograph the Brevard-based defense installations without authorization from federal officials. Taking unauthorized photos of defense installations is prohibited by federal law. Is that true in the US when it comes to those types of sites, even if it's, let's just say, a telephoto mirrorless camera? And it does say too, prosecutors said Pan, 71, was in the US on a tourist visa. He was expected to go before a federal judge Friday. Pan, if convicted in federal court, could face up to 1 year in federal prison on each county. Holy smokes, I did look at the person's profile too, if I found the right guy, and it does say here he flies what? A DJI Mavic 3 Pro plus Mini 2 and then various camera equipment that he has. I believe this is the right guy because it does say licensed drone pilot, and when you look at his recent pictures anyways, it's somewhere in Florida. It says it's a Lego building or something like that. I don't know, maybe someone in the US can verify, but I don't know what the guy was thinking. I'm just thinking too, in terms of being a quote licensed pilot, was he only licensed here in Canada, or did he have like a Part 107 in the US as well? Because I would think nowadays too, if you went through the whole system, as over the top and stuff as it may be, it should make you more self-aware in regards to the rules and regulations of other places where you can and can't fly. I know for myself, if I was going to another country, I'd be kind of paranoid at first, wondering if I could actually fly the drone, and I'll do my research overall. You're not in your own country anymore when you fly this stuff, and it's so different everywhere around the world. Right. See you guys later.